with you guys for the next hour or so. And Retta, are you there on the line with me?
I am present and ready.
Fantastic. So we're going to get going in just a moment here. We have a caller on the line and I want to catch up with everybody. But before we do that, in case you're watching our show on YouTube or Facebook or whatever stream you're catching this show on, we don't really do chat readings. We're not paying attention to those other channels. So give us a call on the show and we'll get you taken care of. That number is area code 319 527 6071. That's 319 527 6071. Now, I have everything all set up and taken care of, so let's go ahead and get off to our phone lines here. This is going to be from area code 801. Let's catch up with you. Hi, you're on Celestial Intersections Radio. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Cindy, 43060.
Cindy, have I read you before?
No,
Okay, perfect. All right, and let's make sure we get you taken care of. So 4:30:60. And at what time were you born, Cindy?
4:30 a.m.
And where were you born?
Salt Lake City.
Okay, great. And do you have a question for me, or would you like a general reading today?
General.
Okay, now can you provide a theme so I can kind of like look for stuff and be a little bit more specific about that with you?
What kind of thing do you want? I'd kind of like to know when my house is going to sell.
Okay, sure. Let's take a look at that. Veretta, what you got?
Okay. All right, Cindy, good morning.
Good
Let's
morning,
see what you
Beretta.
got going on. I'll do general, but I'll also specifically be looking at, if your house comes up, we'll get that on.
Okay.
All right. Well, Cindy, I got to tell you, that's not the first thing popping up. I want to tell you that, you've got a lot of people in spirit in line wanting to say, hey, reach out to you. Cindy, we're here. What's up? What's going on? We're fine. So if you've been looking about that lately, or you've been thinking about people in spirit, then they're telling you right now, they're feeling you. They're feeling you, hon. Just open up and let them in, and they'll talk to you live and in person. Bubbling and that putting it aside going on, I want to say, I do feel a little anxiety on your part. I don't know whether it is the house or there's just a combination of things. I think there's other stuff going on that's lending to this anxiety or this kind of energy. And I feel like, there's going to be things that resolve them, and there's multiple things here. So I want to say there'll be things that resolve themselves later on, and there'll be things where kids or people are concerned that you're going to have to make a hard decision about, draw a fine line and stand on that line. I feel like there are other things, where people are concerned that you're just going to have to walk away, honey, and call it a day, and don't lean back on why that didn't work or why something didn't pan out or whatever. It really isn't. It's a moment in your time right now that allows you to learn lessons, and probably nothing more than that. So learn those lessons and move on. So now when I'm looking at your house, there's going to be some time that rolls on. I feel like it's already been on the market for a bit, but there's going to be a little more time that rolls on. I feel like you may be hardball to try to get out of it at a price under what you want or what you're comfortable with or like. I feel like at some point it will sell, but it's like you're a little bit disgruntled in the long run and you're not really happy with the end results. I feel like that's also going to lend to a bittersweet ending in something. It's like once the house is gone, so is something else. And that something else is chock full of memories, and it may create an old lang syne. So you may have a little internal drama going on when that house sells. And I feel like if it results in, or it's the conclusion of conflict, then carry on, honey, because it's better off with you not there or with it not in your life. I feel like once you're out from under this house, oh my gosh, the blue clouds, the blue sky, the clouds lift, the icky is gone, and you have a new lease on life. So, and it feels to me very much like you're downsizing, going into something that's completely different than what you're living in now. And it may be a little bit of an adjustment time that you have to make to get used to this, but it'll be worth it in the long run, like I said. Um, if I'm looking at time frames, so we're February, March, April, May, June, July-ish, maybe before it really kind of catches on and is gone. I can't tell you, okay, well, what can you do better right now? What can you do different? I don't think it's a you thing. I think it's the time. I think it's the times that we're in that makes it difficult to be gone. So I'm sorry. I wish I could say, yeah, it's tomorrow. Just hang in there. You get an offer. I feel like you may have people looking, but they're looky-loos. So don't get your hopes up on people that may come. I feel like if you're depending upon someone else or some like family members or people to help you make offers, don't get your hopes up on that either. Even though they may try, they may think that you should be doing something different. They, maybe will suggest things to you that, when the day is gone, they really didn't work either. So just stay in your lane. Don't go out of your comfort zone and keep doing what you think is best. Now, maybe Ernesto can give us a little bit more about that and tell you what he can see going on.
Okay. Thank you, Veretta.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Cindy, now, are you looking to move? Obviously, I would assume the answer is yes. Are you looking to move as a result of selling the house?
It's a second house.
Okay, all right. So you already have some place that you're in right now, then.
Right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I really feel like that as far as like the house is concerned, that would you say that there's some concern about potential financial loss?
It could go for a little bit less than what we're asking for.
Yeah, because I see like that this is going to kind of, like if you did this now, this would backfire on you in not a great way. And it would just be like there would just be a little bit of pain involved, like that brings a tear to your eye, not in an evil way, but just like that could have been avoided. So I don't feel like that this is the exact time frame for the house. I do feel like that you probably do have a move coming up for yourself pretty soon here. And that's an aside from sort of where you're at right now. The real estate piece of it, I feel like that's going to be coming to you, but it's going to be another couple of months here. Like probably maybe about like the late spring to early summer. That'll be a more opportune time. Like if Retta was saying that you are going to have people who are going to look at it and that kind of thing, but that'll all go away pretty soon. So, another thing I want to say here is, just from a general sense that this is really a year about you, in particular about your connections with people and you're working with them. So like, this is a really big spiritual year. And, in particular, this is about a year in your soul family and your networks and kind of, getting that sorted out. So when Veretta is talking about, like the next phase of things and sort of where everything is going, what she's really referring to is that like there's some soul family stuff, like your tribe, that kind of term, if you've heard that before, like we're looking for that, and that's coming into fruition for you here pretty soon here. There will be some circles I'm going to add on my screen. If you're watching our YouTube show, there's a green circle, and then I'm going to change that to a blue circle. And then there's also a pink one. And these are going to be, some pretty powerful energies for this year ahead. So this is going to be like, your family, your soul, your groups, your associations, your connections with people. So that's going to be the blue circle. And then, the pink circle is going to be more of like the spiritual self and, that environment. So these are going to be big things or lessons for you this year, having to do with people and getting that all, taken care of. And I do feel like that, these people, that they're going to come through your work and through your actions, that the things about your future will become more clear to you based off of what's happening in those areas in your life. So I really feel like that this is going to be a year where, you're also good. The real estate's going to take care of itself. You do want to prepare for probably, I want to say a move. That's a separate inquiry entirely, but there's, some moving energy that I'd be looking at as well. And also that, if you're are you thinking about retiring?
Yeah, I am retired.
Oh, you are retired. Was that recent?
It just was a good time for me to retire.
Yeah, this is the time. So enjoy that time off because and really devote it to your spiritual self. I would say that that's where you want to redirect that work energy is, put that more into spirit. That you'll have some really nice returns in that regard, but that's sort of the general thing that what I'm picking up here on your chart. Veretta, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Not really. I think you pretty much covered the bases, and the only thing I got would reiterate what you said. So I do feel, Cindy, even though you're in a home already and this is the second home that's selling, that you will be moving at some point. So if you're thinking, no, I'm where I'm going to stay, it's where I'm going to die, I do not think that's the case. I feel like at some point you will be moving down the line.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, Cindy, it was great to have you on the show. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and give us a call back and let us know how things are going.
Thanks so much, you both.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Until next time.
Many blessings.
Blessings.
Bye.
Okay, and we are going to get out to area code 530. Hi, you're on Celestial Intersections Radio. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Hi, this is Jerry McCarthy Logston, and my date of birth is May 2nd, 1984.
May 2nd, 84. All right, and you said your name was Jerry?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you spell that? With a G or a J?
Oh, sorry, it's a G as in
G-E-R-R-Y.
No, I actually, instead of I as in igloo.
G-E-R-R-I.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, and that was May 2nd, 84 at what time?
8:43 p.m.
And where were you born, Jerry?
in Auburn, California.
Auburn. Okay, all right. And would you like a general reading or do you have a question for us today?
So I do have a question. I would like to know sort of more about the career side, like what would be the best career, and especially like for this year, I guess for job or any job or career advice especially for this year would be great.
All right, yeah, let's take a look at that one. Beretta, what you got?
Okay. Let me get you. Yay, there you are. I love to hear your voice, Jerry. I haven't heard you for so long. All right, Bob, let's see what you got going on. Yeah, well, bless your heart. Okay. You do have a career move coming. You do have a job change. Should you want to put the effort into that? Now, here's the thing I get about that, maybe a little bit more authoritative than you may want, or it may hold a lot more prestige or responsibility than you really kind of care for. But the feeling is that there'll be an opportunity, and it's actually time. I feel like, if you're ready to step up into these shoes, it would be a good move for you, even though you may not want to put that much effort or energy into something that is going to carry that kind of title. I feel like it's good for you. I feel like you're ready for it. I feel like you've already had an ample experience to put you in charge. And so whether it's something that is what you're looking for or you're seeking it or finds you, just be aware there'll be an opportunity. I feel like you can stay where you're at for maybe a minute longer, but there's going to be, I don't know, I want to say changes in that environment. Are you still working? Okay, there's going to be changes in that environment. Yeah, because so the thing about that is you can stay for a little while, but if you really don't make a move on your own, you're gonna be made to move. And I feel like it's something that would leave a mark on your sensitive soul, and it wouldn't be something that you would like. So it would behoove you to really look at the opportunities that come and change your environment before it changes out from under you and puts you out. Um, I don't feel like it would be that big of a hassle for you to leave. I don't think that it would be a shame on you. Why are you leaving? We're perfect. Why would you want to, leave this environment? I don't think there would be any of that. So if there at some point you say, I got to go, here's my 2-week notice, I'm out of here, they're going to say, well, thanks for your service. Not really, but they're just going to be, okay, well, next. And there really won't, no harm, no foul. But if you stay too long, then then we're looking at ugly things happening and people trespassing on you and it getting more than you can handle. In light of that, when you do see opportunity come, even though the first one might not be what you're going to get right away, look in that area or arena. Keep looking in that area because that's probably where the job offer is going to come from. So say you find something that's completely entry level and totally not what you want to do. Say no thank you, but keep looking at that arena because that's obviously something that God is giving you signs about and telling you I'm going to lighten your load and this is what you're going to take on, so prepare for it. And you'll have a little bit of space to get ready to make that move and adjust to that new routine, new environment. Physically, it may put a little more stress on you. It probably won't be something you do from home. I can almost guarantee it won't be something you do from home. Not all the time, not full time. So be prepared to make a little bit of energy effort on your part. Now, time frame wise, I feel like the clues have maybe already started coming to you about what arena that may be in. But if you've missed them already, that's fine. They'll keep coming until you get the aha, this is where I'm going. And then you'll start looking for the right position for you. And then over, of course, a little bit of time it'll happen. I want to say probably by your birthday. I feel like you'll have an understanding of that and maybe an opportunity in the works, if not literally that job frame flowing by your birthday. So Ernesta, what can you bring in for her?
Yeah, so Jerry, when I take a look at this, firstly, I'm taking a look at work. That's the big question that I think you're really more interested in, more so than in general. We'll get to the general stuff in just a moment, but the work stuff is really sort of, I think, the main story that is interesting here. That's really sort of what's speaking out. So when we look at that midpoint having to do with your work, this is going to be I absolutely agree that you're going to have some work opportunities that are going to be, I think, more travel related, like you're not necessarily a traveling salesman, not to that extent, but it's going to be something where you can work remotely and, you can have like a hotel room in Cancun kind of thing. It'll provide some nice opportunities for you to break the tedium that you've kind of been stuck in for the last, while here. That's definitely been a thing. And the other thing I want to say too is that these types of jobs, I want to say that they're unpaid. There is something that's like not great about them, like maybe or they might just be for companies that are well known or notorious for being awful, but there is something unpleasant about the job itself. I don't know what that is. It could also be extremely research based. That would be another thing too, where you're doing, like some other type of work on your computer, for company, spending some time and, something very slow and detailed. That would be another angle here. But, like I think that the job itself may start out like as an apprenticeship, something that seems sketchy, that it's not really going to compensate you in a way that is really meaningful. But then it has all of this other, like golden ticket stuff on the back end that seems really great, but you're not really sure how you're going to get to that back end stuff in this present moment, which is, I think, more of what Veretta is referring to, like about as far as the timing is concerned, that you'll get more information about that. So, that's sort of the work stuff. And I do agree also that by about your birthday time that, like you should have the answers that you need in that regard.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I great. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, Beretta, what do you? Is there
Yeah, that
something
gives
else you
me
wanted
some
to add to that
direction.
part? Because I'm going to take a look at the general reading here now, but is there anything else on that one about the
Um,
job that kind of just helped to make more sense of what you were getting?
I think the unwanted part for her would be the energy expenditure, and what it would take to get up and get going and move around. And if it's a traveling position, that itself would be the unwanted part. And there's no amount of pay that would make it worth it to you to have to get up and get going and be on the move at a certain time in the morning and then not home until late at night. There's that would be warranted for you specifically. I feel that even though it's something that you can handle, it's not going to be pleasant initially. But it also feels to me like the research part most definitely will be the part that you can do, in a sedentary manner, and that will compensate for the times you're up and moving around and the energy you do have to spend. And it's not going to be something that, as long as you budget your energy, it's not going to be something that consumes you so much so that you're coming home dragging ass at the end of the day or the week or whatever the time frame is, thinking I made a big mistake. Um, then the money itself will be comparable to or better than what you're making now, and I think that for you is enough. That if they offer that, then you're okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Make sense?
I totally, yeah, I totally get about the energy part too. But yeah, there, yeah, as you mentioned, like there may
Okay.
be
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
stuff that
Okay.
compensates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and also, Jerry, that this is going to be a year where there's going to be some suddenness. Like this is just so expect things to just kind of happen out of the blue, and be able. Don't resist it. That would be the best advice that I can give. Is like whenever you try to swim upstream of a river, in life, that usually
Mhm.
backfires because like spirit's pushing you in one direction and your ego has this other plan, this other idea, like, and I'm going to follow this, I don't care how it happens, but I have to do this or I'm going to explode. No, you're not. Follow what spirit's trying to throw at you, because if you don't, you're just going to get more of the same signs. And if you keep ignoring them, bad things start happening to you. Like, God will get your attention one way or the other, believe you me. Like, that's a definite guarantee about life. And so I think that that's going to be a real thing that you're going to have to sort of wrestle with this year, is learning how to trust your own instincts and intuition as far as that's concerned, because you're going to start to notice that you're being pulled in a different direction in life than what you were expecting or what you had set up from yourself, and this is not really what you were wanting, because you had something else in mind for yourself, but spirit's telling you right now, and by your chart, like, sorry, we have a different plan. And they're going to keep on throwing these things at you. So be prepared. And the next year or so, I think, is going to be pretty significant for you as far as like changing the landscape of where you are in life right now, and that'll set up some new stories that I think you're gonna really start enjoying. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more of what Jerry wants, even though you didn't know that you needed this. It's none of this is ever clear in the moment. It's not until after the fact that we really sort of realize that that's what's going on here. But that's going to be though these will be major themes for you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that warning. I will definitely keep that in mind. Yeah. I noticed that. I think this year is my personal like 5 years, so it's all about change. I'm just like, okay, just hold on and try and get through it. But I appreciate that advice. With that helps too. To try and keep me on the on the right path, for this year. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that
It was
you
Oh,
good
well,
found
hearing
us,
thank you
from
Jerry,
so
you.
and that you
much.
gave us a call today on the show. It was great to have you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch you on a program in the future. Be sure to let us know how it turns out.
Thank you. I will. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful week as well, too. And take care.
Yeah, for sure. Same to
Thank
you.
you.
Take care. Until next time, many blessings. Okay. All right. And Beretta, so we've kind of got we've taken care of our call queue, so we're ahead of the game on that part. So if you would like to speak to us, remember to just give us a call here on the show. And that telephone number is going to be area code 319-527-6071. And then I think you press 1 to raise your hand to let us know that you have a question. And once I know that your hand is raised, that I can get you taken care of. So, but I do see that we're going to catch up with Dion here on the line in just a moment. But Veretta, do you have anything that we need to know for this coming week? What should we be aware about in the week ahead?
Okay, in the week ahead. Okay, so I would say today, tomorrow, and the next day are all the rest we have left. And then by the 1st of March, it's coming in like a lion. It's roaring. It's making its strong will known. So if you're caught off guard and you're stuck in your passive approach, it may bowl you over. So just prepare yourself to have to pick yourself up off the ground, dust yourself off, and retake the beginning of March. I think by Friday, everybody's going to know exactly whatever the lion is roaring about, and they'll do whatever they need to accordingly. I feel like also before Wednesday, we have, but people will start seeing how the chips are going to fall for the beginning of March, and we may have a lot of people crying because they really got caught off guard. And then Wednesday and the rest of the week, we're looking at people boo-hooing and wanting to know how to solve a lot of these issues. And the reality of it is it's right in front of them, and it may be harder than they want to look at or think, but the reality of it is that's what it's going to take. So I think if people just brace for impact, get their head out of the sand, wake up from their lull, and know that they may be hopping and moving, and if they don't, they may be in a duck chute. Prepare accordingly for the beginning of March, and the rest of the month should go as planned. But if they're caught off guard, they're going to be spending most of the first part of March catching up. So it seems to me like we got things they're going to be on the move.
This is, March is an interesting month because I talked about it on a different show a while ago, that in this brief little last bit of February, like all of the planets are in a direct motion, which is very rare considering that everything has been in retrograde or something at least for like the past 7 or 8 years. And so like now finally everything is finally moving ahead in the cosmos. So that's really great. Like you don't even really have to be an astrologer to figure out, well, if everything is moving forward, then we must be moving faster, right? Well, that's absolutely true. So whatever you're focusing on right now, it's a mad dash to the finish. Get that pumped out as fast as you possibly can, because something next month is going to cause a blow up. I don't know what it is exactly, but something about the month of March just really unsettles me about the world chart. It's, and we're talking about like COVID level kinds of stuff and changes, like pretty epic things. It's a new direction of, I think, awful that we haven't seen in the world yet. So that makes me nervous, and I try not to think about it. So the best thing that I can do is turn off the news and all of the sensationalized propaganda, because news media has really just become like a monster of a beast machine that we can't keep up with. And I just tune it out, because it's all designed, to make us, harness more hate, and it just doesn't work. I was actually really surprised the other day that I noticed the energy feels so much lighter. How come? What changed? What did I do different with my life that makes it so much better these days? Well, I finally stopped paying attention to the dragons in my life. It's really quite amazing what happens when you just turn off those sources of energy that just aren't great for you. And it's really made a difference on my mental health. Sure, yeah, I still get upset and everything, but that's just other little minor things, not about feeling like that I need to always be on the defensive about these things that I can't control, or that that there's some monster who's trying to upheave my life. That those feelings have subsided once I finally stopped engaging with that other person and their all of their hooks that they would try to sink into me. It was so when we talk about the healing process of this whole like abuse narrative, that give it time, like it doesn't happen overnight. Just keep saying no, keep walking away, just keep disengaging, because like when you stop giving those dragons that energy and that attention, then they don't know what to do and they just go to sleep.
Yeah, I agree. And it's there's that parable, where the grandson asks the grandfather, and he says there's two wolves, and the one that you feed the most is the one that will stand out. That's absolutely the truth. If you don't feed the ones that are going to nag the hell out of you and bring all kinds of anxiety, then you have more time for the ones that will bring you pleasant things. But you're suffocating it. You're cutting it off enough so that you're not having it in your life on a regular basis, and you're feeding what's good. Your soul is living and thriving and flourishing, and you get more of what you like.
We are going to get off to our phone lines here. I do see that we have Dion here on the line. Let me just pull up your chart just a moment. There we go. Got you. And let me unmute your line now. Great. So here we go. Hi, Dion. Can you hear us? Are you on the air with us right now?
I can. Thanks for taking my call. You know how much I love the both of you.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. Always a pleasure.
So I can relate to what you were saying once again, with the whole, remember last time we talked, I was getting harassed by the YouTubers or whatever, and I keep filling out the paperwork, and then they make videos about how they had to take the content down because I reported it, and they're doxing me. And YouTube does take some stuff down right away, and then other stuff they're just kind of lackadaisical on. So I'm following up with as much as I can with that, but it's still ongoing. And you did say to have patience because nothing happens overnight, but it's like the amount of work that has to be put into it. It's a lot, and I understand, like, it will provide money later and things like that, and that's cool, but like sometimes it's just hard to ignore things, especially when people are doing things illegally, and the system, is slow to respond, but I'm just doing the best I can to stay calm. But my question is so I have paperwork, and it's going to be submitted tomorrow morning, just like Ernesto said, like right away, get it done, get her done. And that's in regards to a check that is coming my way. I was just wondering if you see that coming in like in March, or do you think it'll be April? Just because I'd like to still take that vacation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I am not feeling it happen right away. So I would say the latter. I feel like there'll be more that's needed, and that will require you to put a little bit more time into it. Don't, if they hit you up for more information, don't see that as a fail. See that as they're interested, but they need a bigger picture. They need a little bit more info to really correspond with the higher ups or whomever makes the decision ultimately in the long run. And they're wanting it, they just need to have the appropriate funding available. Now, I have no idea what the protocol is. I don't know what that's based on. I'm just giving you what I hear. And I'm feeling like I want to address the fact these idiots are still whining about you reporting them. That speaks more volume to what they're doing than what you're doing. So shine on, idiots, because you're just showing what an idiot you are. There's that. And it will probably come to light that you may move from the platform of YouTube to something else and shut everything that you have down. And I want to ask, if you've not gotten an IP attorney yet, this would be the time, because you're amassing information for them to draw on to work on an appropriate case for you. So if all you're doing, if that's what you're submitting, then great. But keep accumulating information, because they're going to need a little bit more. They're going to want a little bit more. And what they ultimately get from you in the long run will be enough, and will be enough for you to get money, and it will be enough to shut them down. So, but just hear me say, at some point, I think you're going to change your platform, or you won't make YouTube your primary example of how you get your workout. I feel like it'll be something else that you'll draw from, a more appropriate arena. Now, a lot of what I'm saying right now to you, Dion, it would feel like if you asked me for a justification or a validation of what's going on, I'd have to say it feels to you like I'm talking out my, because I have no idea what I'm saying right now, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing. And I feel like if you keep plugging on, if you keep hanging in there, it'll sort itself out and you'll get what you want. And when you feel like you finally won, you'll know that the rest of the scenario that's ever been told to you by anyone that says you're going to succeed in what you're doing is the absolute truth. So don't quit. Don't get disheartened. Don't, feel like, this is way more work than I want to do. Maybe I'll just let them have it and I'll move on. Don't do that. You don't shut down until you know that you've won. And then you only shut down after you know you've got another platform to go to and it's successful. So hopefully Ernesto can bring you a little bit more information on the specific date versus the cursory information that just comes from Spirit. But I definitely want to just tell you, hang in there. You've got information that needs to be told. Spirit will maintain that if you do what's right, it'll provide for you what you needed. And again, like I said, I think last time for you, like, Spirit works in mysterious ways. If this is how you're getting money to move from, go for it. Keep nailing them to the wall and keep putting out orders and cease and desist, and let them complain that she's reporting us and blah, 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 blah. Because the reality of it is it's your work, not theirs. So, shine on. Ernesto?
Yeah, I'm taking a look. I'm trying to get some more information about the timing as to, sort of what's going on with this legal matter. And I do agree that that there is some money to be made in this whole process. I think that the finance piece is really that's just sort of a side effect, or like it's the effect of causation. Because these people were awful to me, I therefore decided to sue them, and I benefited by making some money from it. But again, that's only a side effect. That you can't focus on that. The real thing you want to focus on here is peace of mind. Like the sense of just calmness that's associated with the fact that I taught these people a lesson. Like, these bastards aren't going to do this again, or if they do, they're going to think very hard and long about it, because they had to pay these fines and treble damages because they're not supposed to do that. So I know this, because if in case if it ever happens again, then I know what process to use. So but the real thing that you're after is that peace of mind. That's the thing that you're going to get out of this. So I think if you keep that more as like the main focus, then that'll help to pass the time a lot faster in this whole situation. My advice to you, I do think that there is some travel vacationing that's definitely going to happen as a result of it. So if I don't know. I'll be totally honest. I don't know what I think about vision boarding. I'm not sure if that falls under the category of woo or if that's actual like law of attraction kind of stuff that we need to pay attention to. Either way, one of the things that I like to do in my spare time is I look at these really nice things that I know that I can't afford and I tell myself, like let's just get some ideas because if I ever win the lottery, then I know what direction I want to start taking things in. Well, that's probably about the equivalent of vision boarding in my life, like that type of creative visualization. So, like, that manifests in my life as looking at, commercial real estate listings. It's just one of the things I like to do to burn time. In your case, you might look at like these really fancy hotel resorts and these places that you'd like to visit just to get some ideas about, like, so where do I think I want to go? And as we know from one of our subscribers here who is a travel agent, remember that you do want to just call up a travel agent because you don't have to pay them, and there's a lot of great benefits of going with them anyway. So that's an aside from your reading here on your chart. As far as the timing is concerned for when you would make money off of something like that, well, I it'll definitely be within this year. I want to say that time frame of that late spring to early summer, that's going to be hitting a lot of people just because it's of what's happening out in the sky right now. But it's not right now. Like, it's not imminent. I would say like you're probably looking more at like an April or May time frame. And also you're gonna want to take a look back at your own notes if you can, if your logs go back this far, find out when this happened, and check to see if that happened during a Mercury retrograde. And the reason that's important in astrology is because if your problem started during a retrograde, you need to end your problem during a retrograde. It just makes sense. It completes the cycle. That's how we do that. So, the things are more likely to click for us in a Mercury retrograde if that's when the problem began. Like they say, never buy a new car during a Mercury retrograde. Well, if I did that and it turned out to be a nightmare, then I learned my lesson the first time. So the second time I'm buying my car during a Mercury retrograde because I'm resolving the problems that I had the first time. So this is something you're going to want to consider, but also because, law is involved, that can get a little bit tricky. So be sure to hit me up and send me an email through my website if that's something you're looking at. But I think that, this is going to be... Go ahead.
The paperwork that I'm sending out tomorrow is an insurance claim on an accident that happened. And so that was... It's aside from the YouTube thing. But if Vernetta said April, then it's April. It's just the finances are just always so crippling. And I know it's because of where I live, but I also have to be able to get out too, But whatever.
Yeah, no, okay, so then if that's
for a reason.
So if the accident damages are separate from the law or the lawsuit piece, yeah, then full steam ahead on that. Like, I think that's going to move quite fast for you. Don't you think, Veretta, that second piece that she's talking about, that's going to be like really fast?
So I think maybe what I'm also picking up completely is that this amount of money that you're getting in April is going to mean you secure someone that really can help you with the intellectual property suit. So it could be a lot of things that you benefit from: the vacation, catching up on bills, or continuing to support yourself, and then also securing someone that can help you in the long run. And so if this thing is insurance that you're doing, then yeah, they're going to want more info. But the IP case itself, I think, won't be forthcoming as far as monetarily for quite some time. However, it will shut them down right away. That's absolutely the truth. And then suing them, going after them, is going to be an option for you in the long run if that's something that you're going to want to continue with. If ultimately you just want them to stop, yes, you will get that right away once you get an IP attorney that knows their stuff. I want to address the vision board too. Just because I do know the way that energy works, vision boards do work. I know people specifically that right down to the T have brought people in that they wanted, have brought houses, have brought cars, have brought the things that they endeavored to have. Um, so vision boards do work because when you're putting your energy into something that you're making visible, you're just making the energy concrete. Like you're putting out to the universe, all right, there's no questions about what I want. Here it is. Look on the damn board. You don't even have to guess at it. And the reality of it is the more intricate you put that board together with pictures of, the more intricate you get back. So yes, vision boards do work in the long run. Second thing I want to address, travel agents. When you call a travel agent and they do a lot of research for you and don't get paid, remember they're doing research for free. So you kind of really don't want to give them a ballpark of, oh, I want 14 places looked up and I want to know what the cheapest one is. Because honestly, unless you're paying them to do that, that's not fair to them. If you're pretty sure you want to go into a specific direction, you just don't know if you can afford, yeah, then you call an insurance agent, you hit them up, hey, can you research this for me? And if it's something that I'm going to want later, I'll book it through you. But the reality of it is equal energy exchange applies to everything across the board. So if you're giving somebody task work to do for you, you better be prepared to do task work either A for them or in the future for somebody else to keep your balance. All right, I'll shut up now.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of all that I have for you, Dion. So I think that if that submitting the paperwork tomorrow, that's going to be your best plan of action, and that's going to open up a lot of access to new issues and things. Like making sure that you have a lawyer who's going to really be able to issue that cease and desist and get that taken care of right off the bat. That they can take care of that for you, and you want a lawyer with teeth who's not a nice guy. Probably somebody like me, to be honest. Like if I had worked in law, I would tear people up alive, and it would be glorious. But I didn't take my undergrad that seriously, so. If I could go back and do my life over again, I probably would have turned out to be a lawyer instead of an astrologer. But, then there's that whole conversation about free will that this is really what I'm supposed to do.
Wow. Yeah, you would have been a good attorney.
You would have been a good lawyer,
attorney.
Yeah, but it would have stifled your creativity, and you are so much better on the creative side. Like you're better than a lawyer, in my opinion. Like that wouldn't have been good enough for you.
Well, really what we are here is, or I don't know about Beretta, but at least me, with Uranian Astrology, this is risk management at its finest. Like this is really what we're doing here. We're doing like life consulting or personal consulting for like personal risk management in your life. Let's make sure that we get you pointed in the right direction so you make the best choices possible with the information that we have here in your chart. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, and I've always considered myself a spiritual cheerleader, but really I'm just a telephone line to spirit. You got questions, if they've got answers, I'll bring them to you. There's no harm, no foul. I don't care what the question is. I don't care how wrong you feel you've been. I'm going to bring you the truth, and it's going to be from spirit. So I'm not getting in the way because I don't care one way or the other. I don't want to be responsible for your stuff. And I think together we complement, Ernie and I complement each other because he can do the troubleshooting that spirit brings the information through you too. And, it's kind of all packaged in one.
I love your show. I am so happy that you have me on and I get to interact with you. It's a blessing that you're here. And you're here a lot. You're like twice a week on Blog Talk Radio. I mean, I go to your YouTube channel, Ernesto, just so you know, I do go there.
Oh, okay, great. Good to know. Glad you enjoy it. Well, it was great to have you on the show, Dion. I really wish you the best of luck in this whole process. And be sure to give us a call back in the future and let us know how it turned out.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday.
For sure. You too. Have
Blessings.
a great week. Until next time. Many blessings.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and we are going to get off to Alyssa here from area code 307 to close out our show today. Hi, Alyssa. Are you on the air with us? Can you hear me right now?
Hi. Yes, I can. Hey, how'd you know my name was Alyssa?
Oh, because I keep a guest book of all of our callers, so that way it just helps to keep things straight for me, and it makes your experience more personal, and I just like it this way.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I thought,
Okay.
oh, he must be psychic.
I've been called a witch before, but that's a new one.
Yeah. I just barely turned the show on, and so what are you guys doing today? What are you?
We're doing our call-ins, live free readings. Do you have a question for us? I have your chart up here right now.
Um, yes, I do. Actually, I just started a new job, and I'm wondering if what you see with that job.
Okay, all right, Veretta, what you got about a new job?
All right, Alyssa, let's see what you got about a new job. I think you're going to like it. I feel like it may be something that you're going to have to learn a little bit and definitely discover about yourself through this experience and learning a little bit. I feel like it may challenge you, stretch you, give you a little bit more amplitude, or not, I don't know what that means, than you're used to or looking for. But the reality of it is when the day is done, it's really what you want. It brings you satisfaction. It may be full of fatigue, but it brings you a sense of accomplishment. It brings your whole self-confidence up. It allows you to explore more about you and, learn, again, like I said, learn about you through this process. And I feel like ultimately what you're giving as a resource or what you're giving to others is going to bring you more than you thought it would. It's going to bring you, I don't know. I want to say joy, but don't hear me go hinky with it. Okay. I want to feel like, you've got gratitude that you're able to do this. You've got gratitude in the fact that what you're bringing is, could be full of love, or bring to them what they would need as love. And it's nothing more than you doing your job. So like, how hard is that? Right. So it feels to me that it will last a while. I feel like it doesn't have to be something that will end tragically. I don't feel like it'll be something you'll even consider ending soon. I don't think it will ask more of you than you can apply at any point in time. So it means that, to me, what that says is it'll change over time. It'll morph into new things, and it's not going to like slam a book down on the desk and say, you have to learn this tomorrow and you got to know it 9 to 5, and it's not going to do that to you. It's going to allow you to expand in your own time. It's going to bring you, a lot. And I just feel like even though I want to say everything I'm pointing out to you may have all these warm and fuzzies, there are going to be times where, you may feel like, oh, I couldn't, or I didn't, or I won't. And I want to just give you a little bit of a safeguard, Alyssa. I want to tell you that if the people that you're working with, or whatever this is pertaining to, can't recognize what you're giving because they want more, that's not on you. Don't take that personal. Don't feel like, you aren't going to survive if you can't save them all, because the fact is not all of them will be saved. Some of them are going to want to be perpetual victims, and that just isn't something that you can do. So I don't know what this job is, but I feel like ultimately, 99% of it's going to be great. And even though it stretches you, I feel like it's something that you want and something that you can deliver.
Okay, great. What I was wondering though, about my boss. I think this job's going to bring me other opportunities, like bring better jobs maybe or something. But I'm kind of a little worried about my boss. Is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, the opportunities are down the road, way down the road. So after you've learned what you've needed and you really got it under your belt, there are things you want to do that you can't do there. You will explore other options. But I feel like the boss is an appropriate individual for you to learn from as well, not just about the job, but about you, what you need to do to survive, what you need to do to distance yourself with firm boundaries, and so do your job effectively without creating friction. I feel like it's not something that's above you, in dealing with this boss. It's something that you can do. So it's a matter of over time seeing where they're going to come from and how you're going to deal with it. So don't bring it to you. Don't look at them like, okay, oh my gosh, you're going to be a bad person. I don't know where I'm going to find that. And you start looking for clues. Don't do that. Just let it happen organically, and do your job over time. And then you'll kind of get an idea of where you have to distance yourself or put a hand up where your boss is concerned later. Ernesto, what you got for us?
Yeah, so Alyssa, taking a look at your work situation and what's going on with that. Um, so the reason that you're in this job in particular right now, straight up, I'm going to tell you that upward movement. Like there are some other job opportunities within this company that you're going to be looking at. And again, I do agree that that is later on down the line, but that's going to be like right off the bat something that you're going to be looking into is like what other job opportunities and promotions are available within this company. You're going to want to start getting groomed for whatever department that they want to move you into. And I think that your manager at this point in time that it's interesting. This as your manager strikes me as somebody who's friendly enough, but they're terrible at explaining things. So everything is extremely confusing, and it makes you want to leave the job. That it almost sucks because like that you really super basic operations. You just have absolutely no idea how to handle them, and your manager doesn't really know how to explain them either. Or their sense of clarity is lacking, but they're nice enough. They're friendly enough, so it makes it fun, and so you're okay with it. But at the end of the day, it really just eats away at your soul. The fact that like you cannot get a clear, straight answer about how to do the stupid job that you were hired for.
You're exactly right. She just barely started being the boss a couple months ago, so she has no experience in being a boss. She's younger than me, and I've had a cleaning business for 13 years before I started here, so I know a lot about cleaning. And she got a big contract, and so she hired me, and so I know. I know the ropes of the cleaning business, and she's just starting new. And so I was just wondering if, she's going to make it through it, or, if there's going to be conflicts. I mean, I don't try to tell her anything, I'm letting her figure it out on her own, but I think she needs guidance a little bit, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries.
Yeah, and that definitely has the potential to backfire on you. I think that like if there's anything that they do in this company that's mobile, and I don't know what that means exactly, but something that's travel related, those are going to be where that's where you're going to be where you get noticed. So if they have like a contract job that is doing like cleaning and you're kind of your own boss sort of thing, and you only have and you're responsible for these jobs at these sites, and you track all of that. However that's done, that's going to be the type of job that you want to look for. Like that's going to become immediately clear, and that's going to be the kind of thing that makes you happy, where you're your own boss. I think this manager that you have right now, they have the potential to be let go because upper management will notice that like all of the that their peon employees don't know what the heck they're doing, and that's a problem. So that'll become clear, but that's further on down the line. I think for right now, the thing that you want to look at the most is doing something that's either remote or that involves travel in some way.
Okay. Yeah. And so do you suggest maybe I just let her learn by herself, and I don't try to tell her how it's really done and stuff? Or
Stay in your lane. You're not there to inform her. You're there to provide cleaning. Yeah. So just do your job to the best of your ability. I think what you'll find down the road is you'll be noticed by the people cleaning for. They'll probably approach you on the side and say, hey, would you consider doing this for us without the agency involved? And that's what you probably will rack up names and numbers on when you realize, I can do this better on my own. And I've got enough tucked away to the side that, you can quit that agency, go back to the people, even though that's a, breach of contract or breach of confidentiality, whatever. I don't know what they call that, but no competition. There are no competition clause. The reality of that is if you've not, A, if you sign one, it's illegal, but B, if you've not got any kind of commitment to them about that, then you absolutely got every right to go to these companies after their contract is up with this agency and say, I'll clean for you on my own for such and such a price. And then that will be probably what you'll do to decide.
That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for is them to see how hard I work and maybe offer me a position, to like this girl's got or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's why I said don't look for ways to poke at her. Just do your job. She'll crumble on her own.
Never do that. No, I would not. I'm not that kind of a girl. But I mean, it would just be, maybe it will open up other jobs. People will see it and be like, oh, she works hard. Maybe we could hire her to do this, or like other jobs, not her job though.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Alyssa, don't turn down the opportunity to do any side work at this company. Like that's definitely something that'll get you noticed.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Well, and is there anything else in my chart you see that's interesting right now?
Well, about this job in particular, I'll tell you that the reason why you took this job is because it's going to give you the information you need to start doing your own thing, to become your own boss. And also that if, this is just a piece of life advice, that if you've ever worked in a retail call center, what ends up happening a lot of times is that the company you work for is so massive in their operations that everything is broken. And management doesn't even know how to handle most of the problems that consumers call about, which are usually, just trying to pull one over so they can get something for free anyway. But the point is that in that type of work environment, the best thing that you can do, regardless of your knowledge or education or even common sense, watch everything crash and burn. Watch Rome fall. That's the best advice that I could give you. So like where you're inclined to course correct or, try to help out, your manager who doesn't really know what the heck they're doing, don't, just watch them dig their own grave. That's usually the smartest thing to do because they get noticed and then you're not implicated in, that whole process.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, great. Hey, well, that's good news, guys. Thank you very much. I kind of felt that, but I just wanted to reassure myself.
Yeah. So,
validation is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Validation is a good thing.
It is.
Yes, definitely is.
Yeah. And
you
yeah, so Alyssa, if you may find yourself so frustrated that you're just gonna leave this job, like that you just don't know what the heck to do, and that's just a feeling. That's just you. Don't leave it because it's good. This environment will provide the opportunities that you do need to get yourself set up. Just push through it. This too shall pass.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll do that. I will. And thank you, guys. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah, it was great to have you, Alyssa. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out.
Okay, I will for sure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And until next time,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care and until next time. Many blessings. Okay, all right. And that is it for our show for today. We're just a few minutes over. We do want to thank all of our guests for calling us here on the program today. We will be back with you guys next time on Wednesday from 6 to 7 Arizona time for a 1-hour show. That'll be 6 p.m. Wednesday that'll be on March 1st. It'll be a new month. So we do want to wish everybody a very happy March. And for all other things Uranian Astrology, be sure to go out to eastrologer.tv, and Veretta's website is verettavision.com. Veretta, is there anything else you want to add for our listeners that we should keep in mind for this week until our next show?
No, just what was stated earlier. Have a good weekend and don't laze around too much. Be ready for tomorrow. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we will catch up with you guys Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Bye-bye. Many blessings.
Many blessings. Until next time, good luck and Godspeed.